my beautiful wife, Helen, and this is I Love Us. If you've been struggling with the kids leaving home after multiple years of child raising, and you're finally in your home by yourself and you're what we call an empty nester, then this show is for you. Today, this is going to be real talk for couples who are in it together. We're not going to talk a lot about, a lot of facts and tips. We're just going to kind of share some of our stories. So if you're looking for that 3-point plan, this is not for you.
No tips today.
No tips today. Today, we're just going to sit here together and we're going to talk about our experiences that we went through that brought us to being an empty nester. Specifically, dropping the kids off to school, what that was like a little bit, and then what our lives looked like a little bit after that, and how we kind of built something together, right? So to begin with, let's talk about the college drop-off, right? I remember dropping our son off, and we had to fly away to drop them off. And I remember taking him there, and we spent a long time, just shopping the whole weekend. I think three or 4 days, just kind of shopping and getting his dorm room all situated. And
in 100-degree weather.
In 100-degree weather, it was really warm, and his dorm room didn't have air conditioning, which was really unexpected for us. As we pulled out, I saw my son. He gave us both a hug, and he left, and he ran back towards his dorm room. And for me, it felt a little bit anticlimactic, but I looked at him run away, and I was really proud of him, the man he had become, and I was proud of the opportunity he given himself in just, allowing him to be there, starting his future. But equally, I was proud of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the struggles and the night sweats and teenage years, we're finally here, dropping them off.
Yeah.
To adulthood. That was nice.
To adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you when you dropped them off? Like any tears? What was it like?
No, I didn't shed any tears. I was really happy. I do recall you being a little sad.
Yeah. Well, I was a little emotional. I think out of the two of us, I'm probably the one that cries at movies a little bit more. Or I won't cry. I'll tear up a little bit.
Sometimes you cry. You cried at our wedding, so. You're
the
crier.
I'm the crier?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was just happy or I was just so scared. I don't know what it was, but anyway. Yeah. So anyway, we dropped them off, and we pulled out that day, and we got back on the plane, and we went home. And then, fast forward a few years later, we dropped our youngest son off, and it wasn't as tedious because we were able to drive to school. It was maybe 4 or 5 hours away, so we were able to do that by driving. And it was kind of a similar situation. We spent a couple of days getting his dorm room together, and the hugs, the goodbyes, and I don't know, it was something about seeing your baby leave, your youngest leave, that kind of adds a bit more permanence to it. What was that like for you?
But it's not so bad, I think, because he was closer. He wasn't so far away from us without touch. And he came home quite a bit, on the breaks and stuff. He would drive back home. Yeah. So it wasn't as bad. But I was excited for him as well.
Yeah. As we pulled away from that campus, on the ride home, I thought about our sons quite a bit, especially the last one. And I thought about what I would call these 5 a.m. moments. Right? I thought about how, with our firstborn, and his name is Ron, like me. And I remember with our firstborn, we made a mistake in letting him sleep with us. We were young parents, and this was, over 30 plus years ago, before the internet, and we allowed him to sleep with us because it was easier. He'd just fall asleep, and after a couple months, he thought his bed was our bed.
Pretty much. And we didn't want to have to say it's your turn to go check on the baby. So we said, let's just make it convenient and put him in the bed with us.
Yeah. And I even think about how really bad that was, because we even had a water bed at that time. And I hear that water beds are really dangerous for small kids.
Absolutely.
But we made it through, and he made it through. But I remember getting up early in the morning, often around 5 a.m. because, in general, I was the early riser of the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over at our son and, he'd just be in there, breathing and scooting up to his mom, and he'd have his little tiny hand on your face or something, and you both would just be, there sleeping and restful. And I think about how important it felt for him always to be touching one of us when he slept. Sometimes it was a hand, sometimes it was a foot, but
or maybe sometimes he was looking for his pacifier too.
oh yeah, sometimes he was looking for his little binky thing. But I remember those times, just sometimes just looking at you both there sleeping and quiet, and it was so peaceful. For me, it really was significant for me. I would say, hey, this is why I'm getting up at 5 a.m. often to take care of these two people that I love. And Ron being between us both like that, I saw how securely he slept, just knowing that those that really loved him were within arm's reach, literally. So, to see him becoming a man and going away to school, a little tear kind of dropped there a little bit. And then, fast forward, I also thought on that same ride home about the 5 a.m. story with our youngest son. His name is Ryan, and I thought about Ryan. He had a 5 a.m. story, but it wasn't quite the same because by this time we had became better parents, and Ryan was not gonna sleep in our bed. So, we trained him very early. I think we went to the library back then and we got a book on how to do our kids a little bit better. No, we didn't have the internet back then. We had to rely on going to the library. So anyway, we went to the library, read some book on It's Not a Good Thing. But here's the thing. Often during the school day, from the time Brian was maybe 4 or 5 to almost a preteen, he would come into our room maybe 5, 6, or even 7 a.m. in the morning. And I remember him, he just lift up the blanket and he would lay down next to his mom. He wouldn't come on my side of the bed because it wasn't happening, and he probably didn't want to be next to me, but he would just snuggle up and push her back, and she would scoot back, and I would know it was wake up time because she would kind of push back, and he'd get in the bed and snuggle up under her, and she'd put his arm around him a little bit. And I remember leaving those moments and looking and seeing our smallest baby next to his beautiful mom. And I just couldn't think of a better image of what love looked like between a mother and a child. It was just really beautiful. And
it was sweet because back then you used to travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think he used to miss you. And I think sometimes he might have thought that he had to be there because you weren't there. So he just made that a habit, and it just continued on even when you came back from work.
Oh, so that, I didn't know that. That's where that started, huh? Yeah, he was trying to step in for Dad a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only man or the only male I would ever let in bed with my lovely wife would be their sons, without question. So we would, have those touching moments, and, I thought about them. I looked at our sons, and I was really proud of the future they were about to create. Now that they're in their 30s, they've done that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so, after they, were in school, there was back and forth a little bit, come home on vacations and summer breaks and things like that. So it wasn't like they were gone permanently. So we didn't have a full empty nest, but it was partial at that time. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And then finally, it became permanent. It became a quiet home. And I remember, we always had the home that a lot of people a lot of their friends would come by and stare at our place. Because we had a strict curfew. And so when that curfew was met, we didn't want them outside, but we allowed them to come home with their friends. And so we'd always have people there. And in the morning time, I would often get up to go to my kitchen, and I'd see some strange young man in our refrigerator or something. So that was always funny. But now that came to an end, and it was really quiet. And, we had to figure out what was next, what we're going to do with our free time. What was that season like for you with all the quiet and peace? And what did you notice?
I noticed that I could sleep in a little longer.
Okay.
And I noticed that I didn't have to buy as many groceries.
Yeah, that too, right?
Because it seemed like someone was always with our boys. Their friends were always at our house, eating our food, our drinks.
Yeah.
And basically almost living there. So it was a lot. So it was like I had to mother not just only the two of them, but it was a lot of boys. And boys can be a lot to handle at times.
Yeah, and we had our nephews live locally and stuff like that. It was a lot of people always in our home, and I think our cleaning responsibilities went down as well.
Yeah, it was exhausting, but yeah. So,
it was well earned. I think we earned that peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was nice.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I still do.
Yeah. It definitely was a loss, but I think that, we were excited about the things to come. And that's where we also made a big transition. Once the kids were gone, I had previously worked in corporate America for over 20 years. And I said I wanted to do something else. I wanted something else that was a bit more fulfilling. And I decided to become a therapist. So I went back to grad school and got my license, and that took a lot of years. And I transitioned from a corporate job to being in private practice for a while. And also my wife, you reinvented yourself a little bit. What was that like? Could you share with us?
Yeah, I was in corporate America as well and went through a lot of layoffs. And doing that, I was trying to find another job after being laid off, and it became more and more difficult to find a job. So I decided, and you were starting to get busy, and I said, well, maybe I can help you out and help us both out. And I enjoy it now. It's like I manage your office, and it's been a nice transition.
Yeah, it's been a lovely having her with us. She handles the administrative stuff, the marketing. She, answers calls. She does everything, scheduling, everything she does for our practice there. And it's been really a fulfilling thing, where we can kind of give back to, both individuals and especially couples to help them, have their best type of relationship as well. So we've been doing that for over 10 years now.
Absolutely. And I think part of that might have been we've always worked well together, not in a working environment until recently, the last 10 years, but we always worked together, whatever we were doing in the household. And I think that kind of ran over into the practice. So I think that's why it works out so well.
Yeah. We learned how to play together, play ball together, and be a great partnership. And that kind of has leaked over into our professional lives there. But one important thing that it did is that it brought a new shared meaning for us, an additional connection for us. And I'm really excited about that. It's something we do every day. So I love that about us. And then, our youngest, he went ahead, he got married and
he married his college sweetheart.
Yeah, he married his college sweetheart. And a few years ago, we had a surprise.
A baby girl.
Yeah, we had a baby girl. And, I was really excited just to have our first grandchild, but more so than that, a daughter.
Yeah, you always wanted a little girl.
I always wanted a little girl, someone to remind me of you, baby. But, right now, in addition to managing the practice, you get to spend some time with her almost daily.
Yes, I, pick her up from daycare.
Yeah.
And we spend a couple hours each day, Monday through Friday, kind of hanging out and doing Mimi and grandbaby stuff. So it's been a really nice time.
Yeah. I tell you, the other day, I came home and she told me, she said, you know what? The little baby, and she's 3 now, she likes to grab your arms just like our youngest used to do all the time. And there's a lot of resemblance to kind of her personality to our youngest.
Yeah, she definitely is a lot like her father, for sure.
Yeah.
She's really sweet.
Yeah. But I even think a bit about, you know, having a daughter, and she looks very similar to my wife, in my opinion. You're both beautiful. And I think that seeing her kind of gives me a little insight as to what it must have been like to see a little Helen there. And so she draws me closer to her. That's also something we really have a commonality, is our love and joy that she has. It's so funny. Sometimes, you know, I'll wake up and my wife often have her hair maybe wrapped and our little baby, sometimes she stays over and she'll wrap her hair, or you know, she gets in the pool. They remind me of like little twins there. But I think also it reminds me of your mom. Yeah, your mom a lot. Years ago, when our firstborn, until he was a little over 2, her mom would be our daycare. She took care of our oldest every day for almost his first 3 years of life. And you know, I would go pick him up from there, or we would drop him off. We would alternate on the pick up and drop off. And just to see how she poured into our son with love, kindness, and patience. And then, and our family values and our family traditions. And to see my wife now with our granddaughter, you know, pouring into her, you know, kind of our traditions and how you're very kind and patient with her. It's just been beautiful to see. And generationally, it's just been beautiful to see the legacy that we have here, you know.
Yes, it's been very special, yeah.
And these are the things that, you know what, that we fought for, right? We fought for. One of the reasons I love us. We really worked hard to be here. And it's a testimony to our resiliency as a couple. So I'm really grateful for this right now. And in the, you know, right now we're waiting for in the next 60 days, the birth of our second grandchild. But I hear people say there's nothing like the first one, but hey, we'll see. So anyway, you know, after the kids left, you know, our story's just been one of growth, development. But here's the thing, it's been not just growth like individually, but it's been growth together. And it's really added fulfillment and meaning. And those are the things that we're gonna talk about a lot next week. You know, we're gonna really focus a bit more and more pragmatic ways that you can build that fulfillment, that purpose, and that growth as you turn towards each other. That's what the key to developing a healthy empty nester relationship. All right. So if you liked our message today, please like and subscribe, and it helps us get our message out to other couples like us who might need some of this information. And I do want to share that this is just for educational and entertainment purposes. Although I'm a therapist and we're in private practice, we are not conducting therapy. So if you need support, please reach out to a licensed therapist in your community, right? And anything else you'd like to share, dear?
Absolutely, and if you're in Texas, find Mr. Johnson.
Okay, that's a nice plug, subtle plug, right? I love it. Well, she is the business manager. She's everything. So, you know, I get that. So thank you for doing that. Also, I like you, if you are an empty nester, tell us in our comments, leave a comment of what's one thing that you've done to try to grow together. Maybe it's been taking a dance class. Maybe it's, you know, taking care of the grandchildren together. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe you like to go on cruises, you know. Share with us, and we'd be really interested, and we answer all our comments, right? So we like to know about that. And so in the meantime, I just want to share, you know, I love you, Helen.
I love you too, Ron.
And guess what?
And I
love us. Mwah. Bye, sweetheart. See you next time.